So for sketching I usually use the pencil graphite. So I start by making a wide V shape. By the way, don't mind when I go upside down, it kinda helps me. Now draw 2 lines from the ends of the V. Then connect the lines with a line. Yes, make the heads without guidelines, don't cancel me. Move the head to your liking. Now draw 2 lines on the bottom of head. Yes, it's just head, don't grammar check me. Now draw slanted line for the shoulders. This part takes long because I don't want my character to look like a demented cow. We keeping the arm down, so yes, lines again. Layers. Please use layers because I can't live without them. I lower the opacity on the body layer so I can see what type hair I'm drawing. Also extra thing, I like having a picture of the character I'm drawing, but if I'm not drawing a specific character and just one out of my imagination, I don't need one. Move the hair to your liking. And I add an extra layer for the back hair, but you don't have to. Yeah, this is boring but okay. I don't know how to explain, but erase the head that's covered by the hair. Now merge the 2 layers, lower the opacity, and add a new layer for accessories or clothing. Just draw whatever clothes you want. Now do the same thing until the dreadful eyes. The eye shape kind of depends on the feelings of the character or where it's from, so I usually draw big ass eyes. Then a little line at the end. The eyes take forever, which is why I struggled so much on them. Adjust to your liking. Then I duplicate the layer for the eye shape because I cannot stand drawing the eye again. Add a new layer for the eyeball. Just keep trying until you think it looks right. I duplicate the eyeball because again I cannot bother to draw it another time. Merge the layers please. Draw the mouth you like. Now draw the eyebrows. The eyelashes are completely useless. I just do them because I want to. But I do eyelashes in the line art. I erase whatever is under the eye. Yes, do draw the eyes on top of everything. Now merge. Lower the opacity so we can start on the linear art. For line art I use the felt tip pen hard brush and the size of 4.5 px. Make sure it's on a separate layer of the sketch. Then start tracing your sketch, except the eyes and eyebrows. I make the brush thicker for the eye shape and slightly smaller for the eyeball. For the eyelashes I use dip pen hard brush. Then turn on force fade and set it to linear. Now start making your eyelashes. For the eyebrows I use love pen. Make sure force fade is on, but turn the shape of fade to smooth. Always start at the end of the eyebrow. Because starting from the start kinda looks weird to me, but I'm pretty sure it'll look amazing on your version. Now delete the sketch layer and it's time to color. Add a new layer and drag it behind the line art, and drag it by the 3 lines. Now we can color Yay. Sometimes I add new layers and drag them behind so I won't color anything else but the thing I want to color. So Yay, just color in any color you want until you're done. I chose the black background when I want to color something white. Now merge the layers of the colors but not the line art. Those stay separated until we're done shading. Yeah, the reason why you watch this is shading, I know. Stay with me here because the shading is kinda confusing. Add a new layer and set it to linear burn. Now shade wherever you think is necessary. For example, behind hair or accessories. Or you can just do what I'm doing, it's up to you. Lower the opacity to your liking. Add a new layer and set to add. Yes, it is called add. Now start making highlights on where you want. I mostly do it on the top of the clothing. I scribble so it's easier to smudge. Now get the smudge tool. And I use dip pen hard. Just adding another highlight because why not? I don't always do this, but if the light looks rough, I use the blur tool. Lower the opacity to your liking. Now add a new layer so we can make white highlights. I usually do it on top of the lighter color. Now merge again, but still don't merge the line art. Now on to hair shading. Add a new layer and set it to linear burn. Get the color of the hair and start shading what you think is necessary. I shade behind the bodies and I also shade the back hair, but you can follow what I'm doing because I can't explain this. I also shade under the eyebrows. I really like emphasizing the eyes being on top of everything, so I shade under the eyes too. Lower the opacity to your liking. Add a new layer and set to add. Get the color of your hair, then get the special tool. Make sure it's lasso fill. Now start making zigzags like this for your highlights. Now get the smudge tool and start smudging. And yes, it still is dip pen hard. Lower the opacity to your liking. Now add a new layer. It's for the white highlights again. I usually use my tablet pen for this one. Just make tiny scribbles like this. Now get the eraser tool and do what I do. Now merge the layers. Now it's time to shade skin. Add a new layer and set it to linear burn. Grab the color of the skin and start shading on what you think is necessary. I shade on the necks and the skin under the hair. Lower the opacity to your liking. I also do this oval in the middle. Merge the layers. Now it's time for eye shading. Add a new layer and set it to linear burn. I grab a blue color most of the time, but you can change it if you want. Now, try to do what I do because I don't know how to explain this. Erase extras. Lower the opacity to your liking. Now I do the same step but with a darker shade of blue and further up the eye. Erase extras. Lower the opacity to your liking. Add a new layer and set it to linear burn. Get a darker shade of the eye color. Get the airbrush and shade like I do. Erase extras. Lower the opacity to your liking. I do the same step if the eye color isn't dark, but if it is, I just leave it like that. Now I do the same step, but with a darker shade and further up the eye. Add a new layer and set to add. Get a color that contrasts with the eye color. Shade the bottom of the eye with the airbrush. Erase extras. Lower the opacity to your liking. Add a new layer and set to add. I drag this layer on top of the line art. Grab another color that contrasts with the eye color. With felt tip pen hard, make an oval on top of the eye like this. Lower the opacity to your liking. Add a new layer for the white highlights. I make highlights like this, but you can do any shapes. Then I outline the highlights. Now merge the layers including the line art. And add a background of your choice.